Hello, marvelous artists. It's me, Miss Korchowsky. Just want to let you know I miss you guys very much, and I hope you're all staying safe and happy. And I just wanted to share a story with you about an artist that always perseveres. He never gives up. His name was Henri Rousseau, and this is the Fantastic Jungles of Henri Rousseau by Michelle Markel. Henri Rousseau wants to be an artist. Not a single person has ever told him he is talented. He is a tool collector. He is 40 years old, but he buys some canvas, paint, and brushes and starts painting right away. Why? Because he loves nature. Because when he strolls through the parks of Paris, it's like the flowers open their hearts just for him and spread their arms, and the sun is a blushing ruby all for him. Henri can't afford art lessons, so he has to be his own art teacher. He goes to the Louvre and examines the Satiny paintings of his favorite artists. To learn about anatomy, he studies photographs and illustrations from postcards, magazines, and catalogs. One day, Henri reads about a big art exhibition. He puts his canvases in a handcart and wheels them to the building where the show will be held. He's 41 years old, and this is the very first time he'll display his work. He can hardly wait to hear what the experts will say. Main things, that's what most of them write. But Henri snips out the articles anyways and pastes them in a scrapbook. Henri walks around the city, gathering ideas for his pictures. He goes to the World's Fair, where a man named Eiffel has built a lattice tower of metal several hundred feet into the air. What thrills Henri most are the fair's exhibitions of villages from distant lands. They remind him of adventure stories he loved when he was a boy. Days later, Henri can still picture the plants and animals from faraway places. He holds his paintbrush to the canvas. A tiger crawls out. Lightning strikes and wind whips the jungle grass. Sometimes Henri is so startled by what he paints that he has to open the windows to let in some air. Every year, Henri goes back to the art exhibition to show new paintings. He fusses over the canvas and retouches them until the last minute, and every year the art experts make fun of him. They say it looks like he closed his eyes and painted with his feet. Henri keeps painting and learning. In the fall, he collects leaves from the cemetery to sketch. He spends hours drawing at the Jardin des Plantes, where happiness, a gardener sneaks into the hothouses. Towering palms spread their fans. Tropical plants fruit and flower into garlands. Rockets and rosettes of color. When Henri walks through the glass doorway, it's as though he enters into a dream. It's like he is someone else completely. One day, Henri paints a still desert night, bathed in moon glow. He sees a gypsy sleeping. A lion creeps up, but does no harm. Once again, he takes his work to the art show. This time, Perhaps he'll please the experts. His pulse races. The experts say he paints like a child. If you want to have a good laugh, one of them writes, go see the paintings by Henri Rousseau. By now, Henry is used to the nasty critics. He knows his shapes are simpler and flatter than everyone else's. But he thinks that makes them lovely. He spends all he earns on art supplies and pays for his bread and coal with landscapes and portraits. In the afternoon, he takes off his frayed smock and gives his music lessons. His home is shabby, a shabby little studio where one pot of stew must last the whole week. But every morning he wakes up and smiles at the pictures. Henry turns 61 years old. Because of his poverty, he'll never travel to a real jungle. It doesn't matter. He sees one before him, clear as day. For weeks he fills his jungle, tenderly shaping every fern, every frond, every blade, and every leaf. As always, when Henry finishes the paintings, he takes it to the exhibition. Many experts mock him. One says only a caveman would be impressed by his art. But this time, several artists disagree. The artists are much younger than Rousseau and already well known. They befriend him, and whenever Henry has money to spare and stages concerts in his little studio, all the artists come, along with the grocer, locksmith, and other folks from the neighborhood. They listen to Henry's students and friends play their musical instruments. Henry gives the shiniest apples to the children. One night, a well-known artist named Picasso throws a banquet for Henry. The old man sits upon a makeshift throne. Poets recite poems for him, guests sing songs, and make speeches for him. Henry plays his little violin, and people dance to the music. His heart floats like a hot air balloon above the fields. Toward the end of his life, Henry makes a remarkable painting called The Dream, his biggest ever. As he does every year, he displays it at the exhibition and anxiously awaits the reviews. A famous poet writes, "I don't think anyone will laugh this year." Few people do. 100 years later, the flowers still blossom, the monkeys still frolic, and the snakes keep slithering through Henry's hot jungles. His paintings now hang in museums all over the world. And do you think experts call them foolish, clumsy, or monstrous? No, they call them works of art by an old man, by a one-time toll collector, by one of the most gifted, self-taught artists in history, Henri Rousseau. The end. Hope you enjoyed that story about perseverance and never giving up on your art. Don't forget to be creative every day. I hope you guys are staying healthy and happy. And don't forget, I make messes, I make mistakes, but deep inside, I've got what it takes. I am an artist. Bye guys. Hope to see you soon.